Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopijana Ballava Girivaradhari
Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopijana Ballava Girivaradhari
Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Rajajana by the straps. Just pick it up by the straps. Just by the straps. Yamunatira Anachandra
Yamunatira Manusha
Jaya Radha Madhava Vrindavan
Jaya Radha Madhava
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopijana Vallabha
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopijana Vallabha
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Brajajana
Yashodanandana ISKCON founder, 50 founders of Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Prabhupada Jaya Srimad Bhakti Saraswati. Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Nama Shajila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Shri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi. Gaura Bhakti ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyama Paramahansa. Kiri Govardhana ki, Masura Vrindavan Dham ki, Navadip Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Chamba Dham ki, Jamuna Maya Gaga Maya ki, Śrīmad Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan, Sankirtan Yaga ki, Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Granth ki, Sri Caitanya Charitamrita ki, Transcendental Pastimes Distribution ki, Transcendental Cow Protection ki, Lord Premanande, all glories to Srimad devotees, all glories to Srimad devotees. Oh, glories to somebody, oh, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Ram. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Thank you very much, everyone. If you're attending this Zoom meeting, it's going to be a special treat today for myself also. Sometimes we do on Sundays. This is about the pastimes of Lord Caitanya, to be found in Antya-lila, chapter 3. These discussions with Haridas Thakur. Yesterday, we were in the forest of Hilbara. We had a picnic. We had a wonderful time. It was amazing. It was very encouraging for me to see all the devotees there, and so nice. And we were going through the forest, and Srila Vilas was talking, he mentioned all about Lord Caitanya and Jarikanda forest. So I wanted to relate with that. When we were going around the forest, we were chanting the holy names. There were so many trees and so many insects, bugs and beasts. Maybe we didn't see the beasts. We didn't see any lions or tigers or monkeys. I didn't even see a rabbit or a fish. It seemed quite sterile. There didn't seem to be much there, but I expect at night many creatures do come out. Foxes and rabbits and badgers and, I don't know, raccoons, whatever you have here in America. But anyway, Lord Caitanya was very, you know Lord Caitanya, Krishna Vanam Tisha Krishnam Sangopangasta Pashanam Yagya Sankirtana Praya Yachanti Hishumadesa. Krishna comes in this age of Kali, chanting the holy names, and in the category of Vishnu, Krishna Vanam, Sangopangasta Pashanam, along with these devotees like Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and many, many others, Sri Gadadhar and Srivas Pandit, to perform the Sankirtan Yagya, to perform the sacrifice. In other ages, there are other sacrifices. You probably know that also. Kriteta Jayato Vishnam, Tretayam Yajato Makayam, Dvaparayam Paracharayam Kalota Charikirtanam. In Satya Yuga, which lasted about 2,000 years, 200,000 years, it was meditation. People used to have a long life, 100,000 years they used to live. And in Treta Yuga, they used to live for 10,000 years average. And they used to do big sacrifices, lots of ghee, lots of gold, lots of brahmanas, and so on. You know this. And then in Dwapara Yuga, which is the previous age, there used to be big temples, just like in India, Sri Rangam, huge temple, you can never imagine. Big, big temples, like so many temples in India like that. Built in Dwapara Yuga, thousands of years ago. And then Kalochatari Kirtanam, Yagya Sankirtana Praya, Yajanti Hishumadesa, the persons who are fortunate and intelligent enough, they will worship Lord Chaitanya by the Sankirtan Yagya, chanting the holy names. Sankirtan, all together chanting, like we were doing yesterday, all together chanting. So, the thing is, Lord Chaitanya was a historical personality. It wasn't an invention of Krishnadas Kaviraj. Any historian will say Lord Chaitanya appeared, Haridas Thakur appeared, and these personalities appeared. You can go to Mayapur in India and you can see where Lord Chaitanya appeared under a neem tree there, the son of Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra. It's a historical fact. And you can see where the Sankirtan movement started at Srivas Angam, the house of Srivas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur was also going to all these meetings, and he was born in a Muslim family. So this was a scandal in the Hindu community. How could he's Muslim, come and start chanting Hare Krishna and be dancing and singing in the middle of the night with Lord Chaitanya, who is a fixed up Brahmin from a Brahmin family. This disturbed the Brahmins, the caste Brahmins. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya initiated Haridas Thakur as the Namacharya of the holy name, although he was born in a Brahmin Muslim family. Lord Chaitanya didn't care about the caste system, actually. Naham vipra narapati navaishanashu. He didn't care about a bodily designation. So one day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Haridas Thakur, as usual, and in the course of discussion, he inquired as follows. Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, and Haridas Thakur never wanted to go in Jagannath temple. I'm low born, how can I don't want to create disturbance. Even though I'm Namacharya, I don't want to force my way into the Jagannath temple, like so many ISKCON devotees. Think I'm ISKCON, so I should go into the temple and create a big disturbance. Why? Why not be humble? Haridas Thakur stayed under Cedar Bakul tree. Lord Chaitanya used to go every day and bring him prasadam. Lord himself used to go to Haridas Thakur's tree and talk with him. Because Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma. Is an incarnation of Lord Brahma, not an ordinary person. Anyway, so this is the first verse, 49 in this chapter. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Haridas Thakur as usual, and in the course of discussion, he inquired as follows. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jaya Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're going to read text. Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara Gobramane Himsa Kare Maha Durachara. Haridasa Kali Kale
Haridasa Kale Kale
Yavana Apara
Yavana Apara
Go Brahmane Himsa Kare
Gauramane Himsakare
Mahadurachara.
Mahadurachara
Haridasa Kali Kale
Haridasa Kale Kale
Yavana Apara
Yavana Apara
Go Brahmane Himsa Kare
Gauramane Himsakale
Mahadurachara.
Mahadurachara.
Which verse is it? Sorry.
Oh, Anchalila, C.C. Anchalila, chapter 3, text 50.
Take 15 Maharaj.
50, 50.
Oh, 5.
Is that right?
This one I'm going to share on the screen. So
I think it's 3 or maybe 5.
yeah, this is 5. 50.
5?
50.
5.
No, I'm saying, is it chapter 3 or chapter 5?
Yeah,
3.3.
chapter 3.
Okay. Haridasa Kali Kale
Haridasa Kali Kale
Yavana Apara
Yavana Apara
Dobramane Himsakare
Gopramane Himsakare
Mahadurachara.
Mahadurachara. Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara
Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara
Gopramane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
Dobramane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
Haridasa Kale Kale Yavana Apara
Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara
Brahmane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
Go Brahmane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
Haridasa Kale 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 Yavana Apara
Haridasa Kali Kale Yavana Apara
Go Brahmane Himsakare Mahadurachara.
Go Brahmane Himsakare Mahadurachara. Haridasa
Haridasa
My dear Haridas
My dear Haridas
Kali Kale
Kali Kale
in this age of Kali
in this age of Kali
Yavana
Yavana
demons against the Vedic principles
demons against the Vedic principles
Apara
Apara
unlimited
unlimited
Go Brahmane
Go Brahmane
cows and Brahmanical culture
thousand Brahmanical culture
Himsa Kare
Himsa Kare
do violence against
to violence against
Mahadurachara
Mahadurachara
extremely fallen.
extremely fallen.
My this is Lord Caitanya speaking to Haridas Thakur. My dear Thakur Haridas, in this age of Kali, most people are bereft of Vedic culture and therefore they are called Yavanas. They are concerned only with killing cows and Brahmanical culture. In this way, they all engage in sinful acts. Please repeat. My dear Thakur Haridas,
My dear Thakur Haridas,
in this age of Kali,
in this age of Kali,
most people are bereft of Vedic culture
most people are bereft of Vedic culture,
and therefore they are called Yavanas.
and therefore they are called Yavanas.
They are concerned only with killing cows
They are concerned only with killing
and
cows
Brahmanical culture.
and Brahmanical culture.
In this way, they all engage in sinful acts.
In this way, they all engage in sinful acts.
But from this statement by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can clearly understand that the word Yavana does not refer only to a particular class of men. Anyone who is against the behavior of the Vedic principles is called Yavan. Such a Yavana may be in India or outside of India. As described here, the symptoms of Yavana is that they are violent killers of cows and Brahmanical culture. We offer our prayers to the Lord by saying, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha. the Lord is the maintainer of Brahminical culture. His first concern is to see to the benefit of cows and Brahmins. As soon as human civilization turns against Brahminical culture and allows unrestricted killing of cows, we should understand that men are no longer under the control of the Vedic culture, but all Yavana and Mlechas. It is said that the Krishna conscious movement will be prominent within the next 10,000 years. Wow. But after that, people will all become Mlechas and Yavanas. Thus, at the end of the yuga, Krishna will appear as a Kalki avatar and kill them without consideration. So now we're going to go on, because I want to come to a particular verse about the holy name, which is very topical for this time. So I'll just read quickly. We won't do the word for word, and we may not do the purport either, because I want to come to a particular purport. Text 51. Iha sabara konmaile aibe nistar tan hena nada kiye tuka apara. Is Lord Caitanya asking a question of Haridas Thakur. How will these Yavanas be delivered? It's nice in Bengali. Iha sabara kon mate kaibe nishtar delivered. How will these Yavanas be delivered? To my great unhappiness, I do not see any way. Lord Chaitanya. This verse reveals the significance of Lord Sri Chaitanya's appearance as Patit Pavan, the deliverer of all the fallen souls. Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings, Patita Pavanai Tava Avatar. Oh my Lord, you have appeared just to deliver all the fallen souls. Mosamo Patita Prabhu Napai Bea. And among all the fallen souls, I am the lowest. How Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always thinking about the deliverance of the fallen souls is shown by the statement, E Dukkha Apara. It is my great unhappiness. This statement indicates that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, is always very unhappy to see the fallen souls in the material world. Therefore, he himself comes as he is, or he comes as a devotee in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to deliver love of Krishna directly to the fallen souls. Namo Mahabharata Krishna Prema Pradayati. C.C. Madhya 1953. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he not only gives knowledge of Krishna, but by his practical activities teaches everyone how to love Krishna. Krishna Prema Pradayati. Those who are following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should take the Lord's mission most seriously. In this age of Kali, people are gradually becoming less than animals. Nevertheless, although they are eating the flesh of cows and are envious of Brahminical culture, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considering how to deliver them from this horrible condition of life. Thus, he asks all Indians to take up this mission.
Evil.
Bhajabhumite hoila manusha janmaya janma sarjaka kari kara para upaka. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsa, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. C.C. Adi Leela 941. It is therefore the duty of every advanced and cultured Indian to take this cause very seriously. All Indians should help the Krishna conscious movement in its progress to the best of their ability. Then they will be considered real followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unfortunately, even some so-called Vaishnavas enviously refuse to cooperate with this movement, but instead condemn it in so many ways. We are very sorry to say that these people try to find fault with us, being unnecessarily envious of our activities, although we are carrying out the best of our ability to introduce the Krishna conscious movement directly into the countries of the Yavanas and Mlechas. Such Yavanas and Mlechas are coming to us and becoming purified. Vaishnavas who follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who identifies himself as a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, should feel like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who said, Iha sabara kon mate haibe nishta. How will all these Yavanas be delivered? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always anxious to deliver the fallen souls because their fallen condition gave him great unhappiness. That is the platform on which one can propagate the mission of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. That was an amazing purport, no? Amazing. Okay, text 52. Just read the translation. Haridas Thakur replied, my dear Lord, do not be in anxiety. Do not be unhappy to see the condition of the Yavanas in material existence. Text 53. Because the Yavanas are accustomed to saying Ha Rama, O Lord Ramachandra, they will very easily be delivered by this Nam Abbas. Try and understand this. Haridas Thakur says, because the Yavanas are accustomed to saying Ha Ram, in brackets, O Lord Ramachandra, they will very easily be delivered by this Nam Abbas. So this needs explanation, and we're going to have explanation now. This is what I want you to hear. Text 54. Maha Preme Bhakta Kohe Harama Yavanera Bhagya Deka Laya Se Nama. A devotee in advanced ecstatic love exclaims, oh, my Lord Ramachandra, oh, my Lord Ramachandra. But the Yavanas also chant, Ha Ram, just see their good fortune. So you get this? The Yavanas, listen. Purport, if a child touches fire, the fire will burn him. And if an elderly man touches fire, it will burn him also. Haridas Thakur says that the great devotee of the Lord exclaims, Ha Ram. But although Yavanas do not know, this is Lord Ram. Although the Ravanas do not know the transcendental meaning of Ha Ram, they say these words in the course of their ordinary life. For the Yavana, the words Ha Ram mean abominable. Abominable. Whereas the devotee exclaims the word Ha Ram in ecstatic love. Nevertheless, because the words Ha Ram are the spiritual summum bonum, the fact is the same, whether they are uttered by Yavanas or by great devotees. Just as fire is the same both for a child and for an elderly man. You get it, Kṛṣṇa? You got it? You got that point? It's a very important point. That's where we go on Hari now. With all these Yavanas, because some or other they are. In other words, the holy name of the Lord, Ha Ram, always acts, even when the holy name is chanted without reference to the Supreme Lord. Yavanas utter the holy name in a different attitude than devotees, but the holy name Ha Ram is so powerful spiritually that it acts anywhere, whether one knows it or not. This is explained as follows. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, let's read the Bengali. Yadyapi anya sankate anya haya namavas tatapi namera tejana haya vinash. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the authority on the chanting of the holy name, said, the chanting of the Lord's holy name to indicate something other than the Lord is an instance of Nam Abbas. It means the shadow of the holy name. Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed. Please repeat. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the authority in the chanting of the holy name, said, the chanting of the Lord's holy name, to indicate something other than the Lord, is an instance of Nam Abbas.
It's an instance of Nam Abbas.
Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed.
Its transcendental power is not destroyed.
And we're going to hear more about this from Haridas Thakur. Next verse. Even a Malacha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar, and who cries in distress again and again, attains liberation. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? It means like he's been killed by a boar in the jungle. Okay. So purport. This refers to an instance in which a meat eater being killed by a boar uttered the words Haram, Haram, again and again at the time of his death. Since this is a quotation from the Nrsimha Purana, this indicates that in the Puranic age, there must also have been mlechas and yavanas, meat eaters, and the words haram, meaning condemned, were also uttered in those days. Thus, Haridas Thakur gives evidence that even a meat eater who condemns something by uttering the words haram gets the benefit of chanting the holy name that the devotee chants to mean, oh my Lord Ram. Text 57 is very exciting. Ajamil Putre, Bolaya Bali, Narayana, Vishnu Duta Asi Chadaya, Tahara Bandana. Ajamil was a great sinner during his life, but at the time of death, he accidentally called for his youngest son, whose name was Narayan. And the attendants of Lord Vishnu came to relieve him from the bonds of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. That's in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Was it 6th canto? No. 6th canto, Jamil?
6
canto. Okay, we're going on to, now this is more detail now. Very interesting, 58. The word Ram consists of 2 syllables, Ra and Ma. These are unseparated and are decorated with the loving word Ha, meaning O. Now listen to this, you're going to blow your mind.
Wow.
Namera akshara sabera e swabhava vyavasita hailena chadi apana prabhava. The letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they act even when uttered improperly. Just like we saw yesterday, some drunkards or drug addicts. They tried their best in the drunkard's thing. Now this is a long purport. It's going to be amazing if you listen to this. Oh, it's not so long. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that the word vyavahita, improperly uttered, is not used here to refer to the mundane vibration of the letters of the alphabet. Such negligent utterance for the sense gratification of materialistic persons is not a vibration of transcendental sound. Utterance of the holy name while one engages in sense gratification is an impediment on the path towards achieving ecstatic love for Kṛṣṇa. On the other hand, if one is eager for devotional service, one who is eager for devotional service utters the holy name even partially or improperly. The holy name, which is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibits its spiritual potency because of that person's offenseless utterance. Thus, one is relieved from all unwanted practices and one gradually awakens his dormant love for Kṛṣṇa. This sounds contradictory. It does sound like, you know, if someone is drunk and he's saying Hare Krishna for sense gratification, it's a hindrance for their progress in spiritual life. But we have to read on. Text 60. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of all reception, that holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmin, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, Such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Please repeat. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord,
If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord,
or if it penetrates his mind,
Or if it penetrates his mind,
or enters his ear,
or enters his ears,
which is the channel of oral reception,
to the channel of oral reception,
that holy name will certainly deliver him
the holy name will certainly deliver him
from material bondage.
from material bondage,
Whether vibrated properly
whether vibrated properly
or improperly,
or improperly,
with correct or incorrect grammar,
correct or incorrect grammar,
or properly joined
or properly joined,
or vibrated
or vibrated
in separate parts,
separate parts,
O Brahman,
O Brahmana,
the potency of the holy name
the potency of the holy name
is therefore certainly great.
is therefore certainly great.
However,
However,
if one uses the vibration of the holy name
if one uses the vibration of the holy
for the
name
benefit of the material body,
for the benefit of the material body,
the material wealth,
material wealth,
and followers,
followers,
or under the influence of greed
or under the influence of greed
or atheism,
or atheism,
in other words,
in other words,
if one utters the name with offenses,
If one utters the name with offenses,
such chanting
such chanting
will not produce the desired result very soon.
will not produce a desired result very soon.
Therefore, one should diligently avoid
Therefore, one should diligently avoid
offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord.
offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord.
Purport. This verse from the Padma Purana is included in the Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.289 by Sanatana Goswami. Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami gives the following explanation. And there's a long Sanskrit. I don't think I can say all this. We'll just read the translation. This means that if one somehow or other hears, utters, or remembers the holy name, or if it catches his mind while coming near his ears, that holy name, even if vibrated in separate words, will act. An example of such separation is given as follows. And this is it's all in Sanskrit, long quotation. Suppose one is using the two words halam, riktam. Now the syllable ha in the word halam and the syllable ri in riktam are separately pronounced. But nevertheless, the holy name will act because one somehow or other utters the word Hare. I can't believe it. Similarly, in the word Raja Mahishi, the syllables Ra and Ma appear in two separate words. But because they somehow or other appear together, the holy name Ram will act, provided there are no offenses. Then there's another long quote. The holy name has so much spiritual potency that it can deliver one from all sinful reactions and material entanglements. But utterance of the holy name will not be very soon fruitful if done to facilitate sinning. So go on. There's another quotation. The holy name is so powerful that it must act, but when one utters the holy name with offenses, its action will be delayed, not immediate. Although in favorable circumstances, the holy name of the Lord act very quickly. And we're going to take 61. So this is an important point that we heard that people are engaged in sense gratification, but my justification that we're going on Harinam to get people to chant is that they're getting an association of devotees or following, and they're being induced, and they're surrendering when they chant, although they're very simple, they may be drunk and everything. They're surrendering to the process. So it's not exactly for sense gratification that they're chanting, because the devotees are involved. We're getting to chant, and they're hearing the holy names. It's the Sankirtan Yagya, they're taking part in the Sankirtan Yagya, whether they like it or not. And so it won't inhibit the development of love of Krishna. It actually will benefit for them, because even if they don't understand it to be namabhas, and we're inducing them to chant, we're getting them to chant like us, our congregation, these drunkards. Just like Lord Nityananda, he tried to get Jagannath to chant, right? And they were also drunkards and very sinful people. And eventually they were delivered by Lord Chaitanya. So now we can go a little more. Namacharya Haridas Thakur continued. If one offensively utters the holy name, even imperfectly, one can be freed from all the results of sinful life. So even Ajamil, he wasn't committing any offenses against the holy name when he called Narayan, because he was calling for his son. He wasn't deliberately, sinning on the strength of the holy name, or thinking that names of demigods are equal to Narayan, or offending Guru. He was just going, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. See? So the power of the holy name is so powerful. Text 62. This is a quote. This verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So then Haridas Thakur says, Nama basa haiti hai samsara rakshai. Even a faint light from the holy name of the Lord can eradicate all the reactions of sinful life. 64. While dying, Ajamil chanted the holy name of the Lord, intending to call his son Narayan. Nevertheless, he attained the spiritual world. What to speak of those who chant the holy name with faith and reverence? This is a verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Because of even the faintest rays of the effulgence of the Lord's holy name, one can attain liberation. So because of even the faintest rays of the effulgence of the Lord's holy name, one can attain liberation. We can see that this, in all the revealed scriptures, the evidence appears in the story of Ajamil, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from Haridas Thakur with happiness within his heart increased. But as a matter of course, he still inquired further. Priti viti bahujiva stabara jangam ihasabara ki prakare haibe mochan. On the earth, there are many living entities, the Lord said, some moving and some not moving. What will happen to the trees, the plants, the insects, and other living entities? How will they be delivered from material bondage? Haridasa Koi Prabhu, Se Kripa Tuma, Stabara Jangama Age, Kariya Chanista. Haridasa Koi replied, my dear Lord, the deliverance for all moving and non-moving living entities takes place only by your mercy. You have already granted this mercy and delivered them. You have loudly chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, and everyone moving or not moving has benefited by hearing it. Text 17. My Lord, the moving entities who have heard your loud sankirtan have already been delivered from bondage to this material world. And after the non-moving living entities like trees hear it, there is an echo. 71. Actually, however, it is not an echo. It is a kirtan of the non-moving living entities. All this, although inconceivable, is possible by your mercy. When loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is performed all over the world by those who follow in your footsteps, all living entities, moving and non-moving, dance in ecstatic devotional love. My dear Lord, all the incidents that took place while you were going to Vrindavan, through Jarikanda forest, through the forest known as Jarikanda, have been related to me by your servant Balabhadra Bhattacharya. When your devotee Vasudev Datta submitted his plea to your lotus feet for the deliverance of all living entities, you accepted that request. My dear Lord, you have accepted the form of a devotee just to deliver all the fallen souls of this world. You have preached the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra In this way, freed all moving and non-moving beings from material bondage. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, if all living entities are liberated, the entire universe will be devoid of living beings. What did Haridas Thakur say? Haridas said, my Lord, as long as you are situated within the material world, you will send to the spiritual sky all the developed moving and non-moving living entities in different species. Then again, you will awaken the living entities who are not yet developed and engage them in activities. In this way, all moving and non-moving living entities will come into existence and the entire universe will be filled as it was previously. Purple. While we are preaching, opposing elements sometimes argue, if all living entities were delivered by the Krishna conscious movement, what would happen then? The universe would be devoid of all living entities. In answer to this, we may say that in a prison, there are many prisoners. But if one thinks that the prison will be empty if all the prisoners adopted good behavior, is incorrect. Even if all the prisoners within a jail are freed, other criminals will fill it again. A prison will never be vacant, for there are many prospective criminals who will fill the prison cells, even if the present criminals are freed by the government. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Karanam Guna Sangasya Sadasadyoni Janmasya. Because of the living entity's association with material nature, he meets with good and evil among various species. There are many unmanifested living entities uncovered by the mode of ignorance who will gradually come to the mode of passion. Most of them will become criminals because of their fruitive activities and again fill the prison. This is interesting. Prabhupada says there are many unmanifested living entities covered by the mode of ignorance who will gradually come to the mode of passion. Most of them will become criminals because of their fruitive activities and again fill the prisons. Previously, when Lord Ramachandra left this world, he took with him all the living entities of Ayodhya. Then he filled Ayodhya again with other living entities. My dear Lord, you have set a plan in motion by descending in the material world, but no one can understand how you are acting. Formerly, when Lord Kṛṣṇa descended in Vrindavan, he freed all living entities in the universe from material existence in the same way. Kṛṣṇa, the unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, master of all masters of mystic power, delivers all living entities moving and non-moving. Nothing is astonishing in the activities of the Lord. This is a quotation from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So any questions, please?
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for this wonderful glories of your holy name. So how do we...
I was trying to read this verse. I didn't read it.
If anybody in the Zoom have a question, please raise your hand.
Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be seen, glorified, or remembered with an attitude of envy, he nevertheless awards the most confidential liberation, which is rarely achieved by the demigods and demons. What then can be said of those who are already fully engaged in devotional service to the Lord? By descending as an incarnation at Navadvip, you, just like Kṛṣṇa, have already delivered all the living entities of the universe. One may say that he understands the glories of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He may know whatever he may know, but as far as I am concerned, this is my conclusion. My dear Lord, your pastimes are just like an ocean of nectar. It is not possible for me to conceive how great that ocean is or even to understand a drop of it. Hearing all this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was astonished. These are actually my confidential pastimes, he thought. How could Haridas have understood them? Greatly satisfied by the statements of Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. Outwardly, however, he avoided further discussion of this matter. So any question, please? A wonderful conversation.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much for enlightening about this chapter of Prabhupada's books. So, how do we really understand the difference between Nama Bhas and Nama Prab? On one hand, we are saying that here, as per this verses, that these Malichas will have no clue about Krishna consciousness, and if they are chanting even improperly, that's not Nama Brad, that's Nama Bhas. And sometimes we hear that after hearing so much, a devotee is improperly chanting or is not the completely purified stage, has material desires, or the mind is going in another direction while chanting. That's considered as Nam Aparad. A little confused here. If you could enlighten, please, that would be very great.
Well, Prabhupada told us that there are 3 stages of chanting. One is offensive chanting, one is clearing chanting, where it's trying to improve, and one is Shuddhanam, pure chanting. So, all kinds of chanting are beneficial, my understanding, because it's the holy name is so powerful. But by association of devotees, we get to chant Nama Bhas, or the shadow of the holy name, or the rising sun of the holy name. And Shuddhanam is like the full sun of the holy name. Jivana anicca jana sa taina nadira vipadava. That was Namasaya kari yatane chumi taka apana ade. So that avijati murajapana jivara kalyana sadhanakam jagate asiye madhuranam. To penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart, the holy name has risen like the shining sun. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, there's nothing but the holy name to be had in all the 14 worlds. It has filled the soul of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the holy name in this age is Krishna himself. Dr. Patel, he asked Prabhupada in the morning walk, he said, Dr. Patel, Gujarati, very kind of a bit impertinent person, actually. But anyway, Prabhupada talked with him a lot. And he said, oh yes, the incarnation in Kali Yuga is Kalki avatar, he's going to kill everyone. Prabhupada said, no. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna avatar. Krishna appeared as the holy name in Kali Yuga. So Nama Parad, we're trying to stop doing Nama Parad, and we're coming to the name of Nama Bhas, avoiding the 10 offenses. This is the clearing stage. Most of the time we may do Nama Parad, but we've heard how powerful the holy name is. Just even if the name is uttered improperly, or in your sleep, or that's not good. It's not. We can't make progress very quickly like that. We should try and avoid the 10 offenses, or else it'll take a long time of chanting. There's another verse which says that Bahujanma Koriyadi Shravana Kitan Tabutana Paya Krishna Paripremata. So, but we've heard from Haridas Thakur how the loud chanting of the holy name, those creatures in ignorance, they're non-moving living beings. They're in the total ignorance. They're in plants and fishes and birds, even stones, non-moving creatures. They're dormant. They're not conscious hardly at all. That's like dead matter. But the holy name will awaken them. This is what I was thinking when we were going through the forest yesterday. We were chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So many tall trees, very big tall trees, 100 feet high, these trees. Dense forests. And they're just standing there for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. And, but they never hear the holy names. But when we go in the Harinam, in the Umbra forest, they're all hearing the holy name. So they're coming from the mode of ignorance to the mode of passion, they're becoming more aware. So this is para upakara, this is welfare work. Even there weren't many people in the forest. We did meet a few people, human beings, but many other creatures have definitely heard the holy name. So they're part of Lord Chaitanya's mercy to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. Yeah, go on.
So on Sunday class, whenever I go to class.
Sorry?
Come close.
Loudly?
So we read the 10 offenses. Actually, the class was canceled.
The what?
They read the 10 offenses every day in their Sunday class. You were talking about the 10 offenses.
Yeah.
But that was canceled today.
Without what?
That was cancelled because we have Maharaj lecture now.
I don't know, we should do after the morning program. I don't know why we didn't say.
Well, the Saturday class was canceled, so the Sunday class was also canceled.
After the morning program, what I usually do is say the Shastastikam prayers. Chaitradapanamat, you know the Shastastikam? Chaitradapanamat Pavamahadavagni Nivapanam Shreyakara Chandrika Vitanam Vijabadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivalanam Pratipadam Punamritas Valanam Sarvatmastapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years together. Thus the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death is extinguished. The Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction more. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge and increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we ocean. So I have a question to ask of Shubha Vilas, who is very intelligent and discriminating. For what you've heard, I have a question to ask you. The evidence of scriptures. These days, for the last 2 years, we've been subjected by our leaders, who won't to say anything directly, the rascal leaders who don't know Kṛṣṇa. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Namam Dushkitina Mudha Prapajante Naradama Maya Parityajnana Asaram Bhāramamasha. Those who don't surrender unto me are mudhas. So anyway, the mudhas have convinced us that there is a disease, infectious disease spreading all over the world. And they call it COVID-19. 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 So what do you think about my idea, Shubha Vilas, Prabhu, that OV, they're saying COVID, this is a few syllables from Govinda. Govinda. So everyone's saying COVID-19, it's in newspapers, on the radio, everywhere, COVID. Now they don't know about Govinda, but nevertheless, they're saying Ovi, and the D is at the end, and the Sh is a bit like G, so it's almost like Govinda, go. What do you think about mine? Do you think they're making progress? Like chanting COVID?
No.
This is my question. Do you mean no? You've heard the proof. Even the words of the holy name are separated. Huh? How are they making offense? They don't even know it's the holy name.
They don't know.
Like Narayana. Anyway, Subhalas, you can speak.
No, certainly, Maharaj, it will certainly help them or help everyone. Because as we just read, Raja, Mahishi, so Ra and Ma becomes Rama. So certainly when they say go COVID, so go of Govinda and rid of COVID will certainly make and take vaccine. So go we and D of and maybe will merge together and go make Govinda.
Yeah.
This community is made Bovinda. Bonvida. So I often first time I thought it's going to be Govinda.
What? Bonvita?
Bonvita. So they call it Bonvita, Govinda. It's similar.
Which?
Our community name.
This community where he's staying.
How is it called?
Bonvita.
Bonvita.
Govinda.
Yeah.
Very similar to Govinda.
You just had a G and it become.
Yeah.
Govinda.
I'm going to Bonvida. So I say go.
I'm going to
Govinda.
I'm just going to
So
go.
certainly, Maharaj, this verse are really amazing. And I was actually.
But I have something else, another discovery.
Yes,
COVID-19. What is this 19? So I looked up in Nectar Devotion, the 19th quality of Kṛṣṇa.
Oh.
You know what the 19th quality of Kṛṣṇa? Expert judge of time and circumstance. Expert judge of time and circumstance. So
Wow.
COVID-19, maybe this is Krishna's plan.
That's amazing insight, Maharaj. Thank you. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj also shared something similar. Like he told one of the doctors, where a lot of patients come, they can't directly say to chant Hare Ram or something, but they can. He advised one of his doctor disciples that when the patients come, you have to check their muscular strength. So you ask them to move your hand and touch your knee and say knee, and touch your thigh and say thigh. So knee, thigh, knee, thigh. So knee, thigh. So this
is
thigh, like bow.
Tie, suit.
There's the thigh here. So knee, thigh. Knee, thigh. So checking your muscles if they're working and your sound working.
That's clever.
That's very clever.
And then some devotees made some more like that. So, but this is like a very bona fide means to see the purports in the verses.
No, but I'm not sure whether it's bona. They said they take it to make slow progress, right?
Yeah, they make slow progress to.
It doesn't, not very quickly. But my question is, listen to this one. Go back to their previous purport. Do some research here. He says that if they're atheists and so on, then it will hinder their progress of devotional service. I'm wondering if that applies to us when we're on the high now. It says that if we go back, where does that say that in that purport? Bhakti Siddhanta. Where is that? It says here, it says verse, let us the holy name have so much spiritual purpose. This is text 59. That they act even when uttered improperly. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur states that the word Vyavahata, improperly uttered, is not used here to refer to the mundane vibration of the letters of the alphabet. What is happening? Such negligent utterance for the sense gratification of materialistic persons is not a vibration of transcendental sense. It means that it's got nothing to do with, just like in newspapers printing syllables in the newspaper. So that's not transcendental sound. Utterance of the holy name while engages in sense is an impediment on the path toward achieving ecstatic love of Krishna. So what does it mean by that? Utterance of the holy name while one engages in sense gratification is an impediment on the path towards achieving ecstatic love for Krishna. So does that mean if I get somebody to chant Hare Krishna and he's eating his meat, he's drinking his wine, is that harming him?
Maharaj, if you allow, can I share something? What my understanding is that the example of the Valmiki was a ruffian, was a dacoit, Ratnakar. He could not chant Ram, and Narada said to chant Ram, and then he chanted Mara. Mara, 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 Mara. Mara means death. So Mara, 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 Mara became Ram, and then he wrote Ramayana. And actually, I realized it yesterday by that I asked one person to take a book before you made him chant the holy name. He didn't take a book. But afterwards, when he heard the holy name from you, then I asked him to take a book, and then he took a book. So it was so amazing, and I was thinking that the holy name made his qualification to get closer to Krishna. And I was really amazed. I had this kind of reflection in my mind that people may be apprehensive to the books or philosophy, but the holy name is so powerful that sometimes they may take a cookie or some prasad or holy name, and then that will give them chance to get closer to Krishna. Now it is up to them. They can continue their material life, or it's up to them. They can make slow progress, or it's up to them to make fast progress. But it will certainly have some effect.
But yeah, that's true. That's good. But it says here, utterance of the holy name while one engages in sense gratification is an impediment on the path of achieving ecstatic love of Krishna. That maybe I shouldn't speculate, but that could refer to the devotees. On the other hand, when he was eager for devotional service, utters the holy name, even partially or improperly, the holy name is identical with his supreme spiritual purpose. What about the drunkards and these people are very much embedded in ignorance. They're like trees almost. They're so deep in ignorance. But it does say that the holy name, it lifts them to the mode of passion. It elevates them. It's making the point here that and so the holy name, while engaged in sense gratification, impediment. So that's maybe that refers to devotees who are not chanting properly, and they're just chanting and they're disobeying the order of the Spirit. On the other hand, partially going probably the holy name.
There's a Prabhupada pastime also in this regard. Maharaj, someone asked Prabhupada, "I'm smoking, can I chant?" Prabhupada said yes. Someone asked Prabhupada, "I'm chanting, can I smoke?" Prabhupada said no.
When I'm chanting, can I smoke?
No. So that's basically to commit sinful activity, the strength of the holy name.
But was he a devotee or a karmi?
A practicing, or like a new practicing devotee. So when we do offense in knowledge, it's a severe offense than when we do something wrong without knowledge.
So these guys are like smoking a cigar. There were 3 guys. All that cigar. I thought they'll never chant, they'll never dance, but all of them did.
Yeah, it was amazing to see that.
They were all like middle-aged guys. Somehow they all started chanting.
And there was one guy who was there yesterday and day before also. Same guy, same seat, same cigar, same everything. Completely fixed. But he chanted both the days.
Did he take a book?
Yeah, he didn't take a book, I think.
Did any of them take a book?
Some other people, yes, sir, they took a book.
No, of those 3 guys, the cigars?
Maybe I think I gave a book. I just dropped the day before, yes. So, but it was so amazing. So it will.
But it's the word impediment on the path of devotional service. They're not on the path of devotional service. They're totally in ignorance. So if they do chant, it can't be an impediment because they're not on the path. They're like almost like trees or animals. They're like animals. These people, they're human animals. So when you get to chant, it surely benefit them.
Certainly, Maharaj.
Not only that, because we induce them, they're getting some association.
Certainly, Maharaj.
Yeah, they clap. And you know, there's in Nectar Devotion said, when you clap your hands, so often we get people to clap their feet before we come. So by clapping, in Nectar Devotion says, all the sinful reactions go away like crows. They're blackbirds, they fly away. Clap your hands, the birds fly away. So when we get you to clap, then they're free from sinful reaction. And so that's why it's good to get them to clap. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada ki. Mahaprasad ki.
Jai.
So my conclusion is, everyone, please go on Harinam. Is anyone there?
Yes.
Yeah, there are a few.
So we've had long discussion from Caitanya Charitamrita, chapters 3, around about text 15. You can read this yourself. It's very intricate. And you can see how Lord Chaitanya is unhappy. Krishna is unhappy to see the fallen souls. So if we can take part in his trying to cure his headache, we've heard the story, Krishna had a headache. So we want to cure Lord Chaitanya's headache, also unhappiness, by spreading the holy name. And we also become happy. We'll taste the nectar of Sankirtan, even if we do a little bit and speak to the lady next door, or whatever it is, our children, or neighbors. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.